Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Paige Beckers goes #1 to the Dallas Wings. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19 as always, not unexpectedly. After all, this and not a title. This is why Paige Beckers stayed in college for one more year. She wanted to be the #1 pick. The haters just paused the video. They're commenting now. How dare I? How dare I? But hey, we all have our opinions. I'm sure she wanted a title, but I also know she wanted to go #1. You cannot deny that. Look, athletes have egos. Anyway, I want to do a quick rundown of the WNBA draft, but also more specifically how it looks for the Fever. They did draft 3 players. That means they have 15 going into camp. They can only take 12, of course. They have players that are on training camp contracts. So a lot of people, were like, well, it doesn't really matter who the Fever draft because they can't keep any of them. They can. They just have to cut other players because training camp contracts, you cut them before the season. That money doesn't go against the cap. You'll have that money to sign your draftees. So let's just run down the first round real quick and we'll get into the Fever. Paige Beckers, of course, went #1. Overall, look, I know overall, I think I did all right. I got 9 of the 12 going in the first round. The Minnesota Lynx, of course, messed me up by trading that pick to the Sky because I wouldn't have selected the same player if I knew it was the Sky. And but overall, I think it pretty much as expected. Beckers 1, Malanga 2, Citron 3, Ariafen 4. I had all of those. Mystics Amor at Georgia Amor at 6. I even got the Mystics in the right order. Yes, I'm patting myself on the back because then when I'm disastrously wrong, I have this to fall back on. And then Golden State and Connecticut, they just switched on me. I thought the Sun would take JJ. I thought Valkyries would take Morrow, but they switched on me. So far so good. And then the Connecticut Sun really butchered me it because they were supposed to take Asia Sivka in that Indiana Fever spot. As you know, if you've been around for a while, I did a Sivka video a long time ago. I said that is who the Fever need to select at #8. Still think that way. I think she'd be a fantastic fit on the team, and they need young players. They are old. Oh my goodness. We'll talk about that in another video. Uh, They are old, my friends. I don't think we realize how fast they got old. Anyway, they went with Rivers and then Barker. I thought HVL would go 9 to the Sparks. Now Sivka did go, but she went in that 10 spot to the Sun, and then 11 went HVL. So I got them to just a little further down. I thought they would go 8 and 9. They went 10 and 11, and then the Wings rounded out the first round with James. So yes, HVL reunited with Angel Reese after that disastrous 2024 LSU campaign where everyone decided to make HVL the scapegoat for that Elite 8 loss because Kim Mulkey decided to put her out on an island against Caitlin Clark. By the way, forget everything else Caitlin Clark does, just the fact that she has that height advantage with that high release. She could shoot the 3 over HVL all day if you're going to have her guard her one-on-one on an island. But anyway, I wanted to get to specifically one of the picks. I think it's one pick that has a great chance of sticking with the Indiana Fever, and that is Michaela Timpson, who went in the second round. I don't know why they give this the 7. That's 19 overall. She went 19th overall. Bree Hall went 20th. I don't think Bree is going to make it. Bree Hall would be, for me, the Sydney Colston replacement. And that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me because you got rid of Grace Berger. I'm guessing because you thought she didn't have enough experience and that's what you were going for, and you replaced her with Colson. So if you were going to then draft Bree Hall and replace Colson, why not just keep Grace Berger? But anyways, that's just my thought on it. That Michaela Thompson, she plays taller than she is. She's one of those players that says, long and has that reach. She's 6'2", but she plays really long. I think I even have Here's a great pick. She averaged 17 and a half points, I think 10 and a half rebounds, but she also even averaged 3.5 blocks a game. We're going to see one of those right here because that's her in the paint. She has hops. I mean, that's a real block. That is a real block, and we're going to see it in slow mo coming in here, right? Like it's getting up. That's getting up. And again, praise right there. I I say a lot in the women's game, you see a lot of blocks where they're really before the ball's even released, right? It barely gets away from the hand because neither the shooter or the person blocking the shot gets up off the ground. I'm not saying that's all, but that is a lot of the blocks. But then you just saw right here, I'm going to run it back. This is an athletic player who's got hops. I mean, that's a player driving to the basket who probably didn't expect that at all, and she's up, right? That's a real block. She's up. So she does a lot of things really well defensively. Obviously, you can see she's a rim protector as well. So, average, like I said, 17 and a half points. Not really a 3-point shooter. That's not her game, and that's fine. She shot 54+% overall, only 25% from three. So you see, her game is obviously it's a 2-point game. And then we have the Fever, the roster. So right here we go. We got 15 players, folks. Yvonne Ijem, am I pronouncing that right? Someone let me know if that's right. I didn't hear her mentioned. I don't know much about her, to be fair. Canadian player, played at Gonzaga. We have got Kelsey Mitchell, Michaela Timpson, Bree Hall, Yvonne, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Brianna Turner, Demiris Dantas, Jillian Aline, Jalen Brown, Caitlin Clark, Dewana Bonner, and Sydney Colson. Yes, that is 15 players. And I believe Jillian, I know Jalen, I'm pretty sure and Jillian are on training camp contracts. I thought there was one other player, but that's at least two. So Michaela Timpson can make the team if one of them gets cut in terms of you're wondering about the salary cap and that sort of thing. So that's going to be interesting. We got 15 players playing for 12 spots for the team. So there is a little flexibility there in terms of who can stay, who can go. Because I mentioned a lot of people were talking about, well, it doesn't matter who the Fever draft because they aren't going to be able to keep them. Well, that's not really true. They can. They've got some flexibility there. My guess, just boom, right off and looking at this, I think Simpson makes the team. Now, obviously, when you've got 15, you can keep 12, and you've just got a few things you can do. It makes training camp that much more competitive for those players down at the bottom of that roster and say what you might think are the 10 through 15 spots, the 9 through 15 spots, who's going to be the three that make the team because three of these players are not heading into the regular season. So that's going to make things really interesting and competitive in training camp for some of these players. It gives you the chance to impress. I think if Timpson, for me, now it doesn't mean Bree Hall isn't going to make the team, but for me, and looking what the Fever need and how guard heavy they seem to be, if Timpson impresses in training camp, to me, she is going to make the team. And I think she's going to get a shot to find her way into the rotation as the season moves along. But I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts on the first round of the draft. Oh, by the way, sorry, I didn't mention Lucy also went to the Washington Mystics in the second round. For those of you who did not know that, so last thing I'll just add real quick, just if you're a Mystics fan, this is when things get exciting. This season's probably going to be rough, but you've got potential. I can tell you as a Sixer fan, hey, it didn't work out, and we're suffering now. But way back when the whole process started, we were getting number one picks for a few years, top 5 picks for a few years. It was all very exciting. Like we're getting all this young talent. This could turn into something. Unfortunately, it didn't for us, but it could for the Washington Mystics, right? They've got that was second round where they took Olsen, but I mean they brought in Citron, Ariafen, Amor, uh, Lucy Olsen, and don't forget Aaliyah Edwards is only in her second year, and she is a budding star. Yes, Aaliyah, the one who destroyed the myth of Brianna Stewart's greatness, Edwards. Yes, that's what she did. Stop telling me how good Brianna Stewart is. She averaged 8 points a game in her championships in college. She was surrounded by a WNBA All-Star game. She's mid. I said it. She's mid. Come get me. I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts on the first round especially on the Fever. Who you think's staying? Who do you think's going? Just in terms of the roster in general. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate your support. And I will talk to you later. Go have the day you deserve.